The talks have wrapped between the U.S. delegation led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and the Ukrainians led, of course, by Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. Now, it's unclear what exactly the sides agreed on, but it certainly does appear clear what the main issues have been. The main one certainly is by far the territorial issue, what sort of concessions the Ukrainians are willing to make to Russia, if any, and also how official those concessions could be. Are the Ukrainians willing to officially cede territory to the Russians or not? That, of course, is something that the Russians have been demanding. The other big question, where it appears as though there was quite a lot of movement, is actually the question of whether or not Ukraine would become a member of NATO. And it seems as though Ukraine has essentially given that up, at least for now, to become a member of NATO. That, of course, is a major concession to the Russians. Other issues also pertaining to the reconstruction of Ukraine, security guarantees, those are all things that were also discussed. The president's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, says that substantial progress was made at these talks. At the same time, it's unclear how far we are still away from an agreement that the Russians would then also sign onto, and that could then lead to the fighting ending here in Ukraine. Nevertheless, these talks certainly were very important, not just from moving things forward towards peace in Ukraine, but certainly also for the Europeans to get their perspective out there, for the Europeans to also, for instance, speak with the Americans and also with the Ukrainians to make sure that there's sort of a unified position of the Western nations, of the US, Europe, and then the Ukrainians when they go into talks with the Russians to see how to end this conflict.